Welcome to Gearhead Country. I'm your host Ian Rome, and we are at the 2015 Boot Hill Country Jamboree, and we are in Larry Barrio's bus.
Hey, love Larry Barrio.
Larry was nice enough to loan us this bus, and with me is Heather Ballentine. So we're going to do a little interview with her. You just come off stage, fabulous performance once again, and again, I think everybody loved it.
Thank you. I hope so. It was fun. It was very windy.
There was lots of dancing
Didn't
going on.
have the right dress for the occasion, but whatever.
I'll throw in a couple pictures so you can see what dress that Heather was wearing. It was lovely and it was red.
I was pulling a Marilyn Monroe a couple of times on stage.
You did well. You did well. I don't think anybody saw anything that was inappropriate or anything, because again, this is a family musical event, so
we got to keep it clean.
No nudity. As long as I don't die. This is Gearhead Country, so I wanted to sort of ask you a little bit about, you've got a unique 40s type 50s pinup girl sort of theme, and that's where your heart is, and that's what you love. So you like cars, you like
I do.
trucks,
I love
you're
cars.
a gearhead.
Yeah, I grew up around cars. My dad's a gearhead, so he has like a building, and it's always kept at a certain temperature. He has 8 to 10 cars at all times. He also has bikes. So I grew up, around that, and he always has American muscle, but then my day job, which I still maintain today, I sell exotics, so it's perfect. I love it, right? I get to be around cars every day.
So if money was no option, was no object, what would be in your garage? What would be your dream car?
Oh, well, I definitely have to have a Lamborghini because it's my favorite brand. It doesn't really go with my music brand because it's, it's not retro, but I love it. I love it. It's so gritty and throaty, and they're such a beast, It's great, and they're naturally aspirated. Everyone's going turbo, but Lambo has stayed naturally aspirated so far. I'm sure they'll have to go turbo eventually, but for now,
and you know all the specs on the cars, don't you? You know the whole bit because you sell them. So
I would like to have a '57 Thunderbird too.
Okay,
probably like Tiffany blue, like a convertible. That'd be great.
We had a lovely white one here the other day. That was actually no, it was blue. It was Robin's Egg blue.
Yeah.
It was all original car, completely original, with like dirty and grungy under the hood and in fantastic shape, and a nice old guy driving it that's had it like 20 years.
I want to find one and probably restore it with my dad. That would be really cool. And that would be something I can be seen in as Heather Ballentine.
Yes.
Then when I'm incognito, I can drive my Lambo, right?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Growing up, what was your favorite TV or movie car when you were younger?
I just remember Batman. Like, Batman was always, it just was so stealth and so badass, Batman I was like, I want that car.
Okay, Larry Barrio's going to run right across. Here he goes. Da, 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 da. That was Larry.
Guest starring.
Larry's answering the door. It's okay. We're raw. We're raw here in Gearhead Country. We're not polished in any way, shape, or
form. Like the Lamborghini.
Yes. Raw. So, when in growing up, what was the first car you ever actually owned yourself that was you could truly and honestly say was yours? Oh God,
not many. There was an old beat up Ford farm truck that I drove on the farm, but that wasn't really mine. The first one that was mine, let me think a minute. That was my Camaro. That was a teal green Camaro. Yeah, and it leaked when I washed it at the car wash. Like, it leaked.
What year are we talking? What generation of Camaro?
It was in the 80s. I can't remember the year. Isn't that awful? But it was in the 80s. I don't know, late 80s. And it was teal green, and it leaked. That's all I remember. I wasn't so into cars. Like, I knew about cars. My dad had cars, but I didn't really get so into cars until the last 3-4 years because, like, I always appreciated them. And, my dad's had a lot of cars over the year. Like I said, American muscle, but, Mustangs, Chevys. He has also bikes. He has Harleys. He has Indians. So I was always around him, but I didn't really get into it until about 3-4 years ago when I started selling them. Yeah.
Now, what about your pinup girl style? What's the story that got you? How did you get to that?
Well, I'm a curvy girl, so pinup works with that. You don't have to be stick thin. I lived in LA for years, and the girls were like -0. So that whole skinny jeans thing, that just doesn't work when you have TNA. So pinup fashion works for me. But I love the classic music. My dad introduced me to, Patsy Cline, Johnny Cash, Roy Orbison, the Everly Brothers, Jerry Lee Lewis, all that stuff, Buddy Holly. So again, the retro style, it kind of creeps in when I'm writing my own music. And then I have a love for like vintage cars and vintage furniture, and it just is me, So when it dawned on me, I was like, oh, I'm just going to embrace that. That's really who I am. And I've never been more comfortable writing music or the way I dress, or, it just works. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Again, it's unique, and I find it, again, I've got a 56 Chevy, so same thing. I love that 50s, that, grew up watching Happy Days and that type of stuff, that, the innocence of the 50s. It's just like, oh, if we could just take some of that and bring it
it's
forward
very charming,
in time.
and it's very familiar for people.
Yeah.
My dad has a 55 Chevy, too, that I'm supposed to inherit one day. So let's hope so.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you
gosh, no problem. And thanks to Larry for loaning his bus. Right?
I'm glad we were able to hook up this trip and actually get a little interview done. So let's get our tools out and our coveralls on. Let's get back to some more Gearhead Country.